Good evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of Diamond Live. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Monday, we're back for another week. We are running with you by taking a look at some of the day's biggest news stories at 21:15 hours. That's for Diamond Live, Monday and Friday. But on Tuesday and Thursday, you can join me on this day as we get in depth into some of these stories. And then Wednesday, we take a look at some of the tax issues on Tax Chat at 21:15. But on the show tonight, we have an interesting lineup of what to talk about. It's been quite an eventful day. There's been news around the UN rapporteur, which we later discovered was a false alarm. And this was by a member of the Patriotic Front, Emmanuel Mwamba. We'll be talking to him on the show about that. But we'll also be delving into the Cash for Work program and further into the cyberspace and protecting you from scams. My name is Dingindawa Jonah Buyoya.
And my name is Jess Wakapasa. Thank you for joining us this evening.
And I'm Jimwega Chileshe. Feels good to be back, a brand new week. We managed to have a show successfully on Friday, no lies being told live by Mr. Cheswaka Pasa. It was good to have an honest show, you know.
He was telling the lies to other people because he was hosting the 20th anniversary of
a Great North Road group of companies.
So
I hope you also won't say that I was being traded for pieces of silver and gold.
He's lying. He's back here and he's already, his first few words are utterances.
That was being traded for silver
and gold.
But anyway, I mean, it's been a good week. It's been
the week just started.
It was a good week last week. Well, at least I wasn't lying about what I was doing last week.
I thought you were about to lie just now. I got worried. I was shaking in my boots.
I begin to wonder. I'm not sure if it's a current affairs program. Is it a comedy show? I don't know what I signed up for.
When Cheswa is on, it's everything.
It's everything. But it's also disappointing to note that you have individuals that will also lie about sending very short videos to help a colleague. You know, but
if they told you that they are going to be busy and they're not going to be able to send. I think let's also talk about. Yeah. Well, it's been an interesting day, hasn't it, Chimwaka?
I mean, there's a lot of stories that have made news during the course of the day. And it's good to be joined by Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba because I think he made quite a large part of the news today. I mean, there's been a lot of talk. First of all, even regarding President Hakainde Hichilema, he officially touched down in Tanzania, where is attending an energy
Mission 300.
Mission 300,
Africa
and
Energy Summit.
It was good to see him, even get into the plane and just to show people that he's well, he's doing well, despite all the rumors over the weekend that he's been unwell. So it was good to see that clarification. And I mean, those who perhaps could have believed what they were seeing on social media. I mean, yesterday, even my own parents, I went to see my parents yesterday, and that's the first thing they were asking me. You know, is the president really okay? It's like I'm able to just call him and just find out if he's really fine.
Well, you have connections to find out, but he's had, I guess, this is his episode of the sick president, isn't it? I think every president has gone through these rumors. Sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not true.
So, got you there, John. So, when he was walking there, it was like a light moment. So, I don't know if you heard what he said.
He said, I'm not dead. I'm not a ghost.
Yeah,
but I think that much of the time, looking at history, all the time that there's speculation about a head of state, it has, in fact, always turns out to be true. I can't talk about President Chiluba, but I can start from President Mwanawasa. There was speculation that he was unwell. And in fact, he was indeed unwell. He was.
When was that speculation? Because when he got sick, there was an announcement that he had collapsed in Egypt, and he was. I do remember there was a rumor that he had died before he actually died, but State House did announce his ailment when he was.
But I remember, Jonah, there was State House officials that told us, yes, he had collapsed, but that the president was fine, but the president had collapsed, but he was okay. You know, I remember those statements very well. And you talk about President Sata, even after seeing pictures from State House, the press aide told us the president was fine and he was attending a cabinet meeting. George Schiller told us that, you know. So there's always going to be these speculations, but I think that it's good that the president today came out and, you know, in a jovial mood, and it's good that he put everyone's speculation to rest.
It's interesting. I mean, he's travelled to the Mission 300 Africa Summit in South Africa, in Tanzania. And it's a very key agenda, especially in the context of Zambia. I think there cannot be a country more interested in this energy summit than Zambia. But what you'll find interesting is the objective of the World Bank in partnership with the African Development Bank to reach 300 million people by 2030 in terms of access to electricity. They say that there's 600 million Africans in sub-Saharan Africa who have no access to electricity. So the objective is to increase access by creating a solid network amongst these African countries in terms of electricity. So it's a very very interesting time and a very timely trip that the president has taken. There's a number of heads of state who are also going to be there. It's running today, the 27th, and tomorrow, the 28th of January 2025. So there's that is happening. But there's also the issue around cholera. I think that is very, very worrying. There's 3 people that have died from cholera in the last week. And there's 24 people that have been found with cholera. What is worrying about this is that this time around, as different from the Nakonde situation, this time around, these people have not traveled anywhere. The cholera started from Chililabombwe, and that's where these cases are coming from. And that is worrying. But we can predict what's going to happen. I can bet you that there's probably vaccines that are going to be sent to Chililabombwe now that there's an outbreak of cholera.
I mean, we got to see it from last year. I think we definitely had a very bad outbreak from the 2023 into the 2024 season. Around this time of the year, we know that the government were quite busy in ensuring that we have a country that is going to be fine in terms of a health situation. We also saw vaccines coming into the country. You took one, isn't it?
I did. It tasted terrible.
And then we've seen other people begin to take them as well, the oral medicine. But it's almost like predictable when you look at where we're coming from as a country. Once we experience rainfall, floods in different areas, next thing we're talking about cholera. And I think it speaks also into the state of sanitation in our communities where we're living, in our different towns. Lusaka has been a hotspot for a very long time, so a lot of people would anticipate this happened quite a lot in Lusaka. It's been a hotspot, looking at obviously the population. But here we're looking at Chililabombwe recording 24 cases. It's quite a number.
That's a lot. Well, we'll be speaking with Detective Elishebo Michael. He will be speaking with us around cybercrime that's becoming an ever-growing concern in the country. But also, we'll just be looking at what the Zambia Police Service has been doing to combat cybercrime. But first, we'll be starting with Emmanuel Mwamba, who has, he's been sure. I had a conversation with him a little earlier, and he says, of course, he's a journalist, and he says that he has his facts. Well, he needs to speak with us and over the speculation over the comments rather that he's been making. We'll be speaking with him shortly.
He's joining us via video conferencing, in fact, as we are going to be talking to him just now. Thank you so much for joining us, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. You've had quite an eventful day, I believe. And this is based on some of the things that you said on your Facebook page. your statement on your Facebook page, and I would just like to make reference to it, just to quickly look at what you said, but it was saying that the Zambia police surround Flava FM. UN Special Rapporteur Irene Khan is at the station. They are trying to stop her. Where did you get this information, and how did you come to this conclusion?
Yeah, John and the team, good evening, and good evening to your dear audience across the country and across the world. Well, that's not the only post I've made that I seem to attract police attention. Jonah and you colleagues, we are journalists, and people reach us for us to disseminate the information, either on your Twitter, on your radio stations. In my case, I use my Facebook page. And I've received information like this various times, and I've published it. I'm privileged, not just as a politician, but also being a journalist and a senior journalist. At least I do apply some minimum basic verification. So we can start with this particular matter of Flava FM, and we can also deal with the issue of minor Soko and the health status of the president, because I think these are the three, including the issues of uniform, the new uniform for the Zambia army. That seems to, these are the 4 posts that seem to have attracted controversy and attention. But let me start with the one on Flava FM. You are aware that I'm in the United States. I am not even aware where the special rapporteur's program is. It has not been published. It has not been made public. There was no way I was going to make a post like that. So I was alerted that by a journalist who seemed very concerned that while the special rapporteur was at Flava FM, 4 police officers turned up. They were not in the entourage of the special rapporteur. She has state and other security. They were not. They were from, I think, Kitwe police station or Kitwe Central Police Station. And the issues they were asking were very concerning. They wanted to know if the special rapporteur was at the station to go live on radio, was at the station to interview some witnesses. You are aware that our young people across the country are subject of police intimidation, police arrests, and police detentions. This has been going on, whether it's our callers at Core on Hot FM, or Radio Mano in Kasama, or Radio Ichengelo. They usually are victims of harassment. I've seen some that have issued TikTok videos, and they become popular because they're the ones that you, the media, report about. So I got immediately concerned, and I alerted on my social media posts that the police have surrounded Flava FM. The word surrounded might be controversial, but what the fact is that members of the Zambia police force, 4 of them turned up at Flava FM.
But I think there's more to that. You claimed in your post that they were trying to stop her. This is a bit contrary to what you are sharing here as an account. I cannot independently verify. Just hold on. I cannot independently verify if these police officers were in fact present. But you claimed that they were trying to stop her. Stop her from doing what? Because she's not doing any media runs. And she said this the first day she arrived in the country, that she's only going to speak with the media when she's done. She's here to listen and not to speak. But you were claiming that they were trying to stop her.
Yeah, in her listening, she's speaking to witnesses like Brebna Changala, Isaac Mwanza, and whoever will be available. Investigations, remember, she's as a special rapporteur. She's not here on tourism duty. She's here to investigate the human rights abuses, the claims that Zambia is engaged in human rights abuses. Let's not sugarcoat why she's here. She's not here on tourism duties. And our work will involve speaking to government, speaking to authorities, and speaking to stakeholders like political parties, civil society, and members of the public. So when this reporter, my source, let me not call them reporters, my source told me that the type of questions the police were asking, 1, whether she will appear on radio, 2, whether she will speak to witnesses. For me, that constitutes harassment. Whether the police have actually approach the special rapporteur, but they could be preventing those witnesses, like the example I've just given, where they've been arresting the UN and most of civic bodies are aware of all these youths and people that are arrested or detained or called, with threatening language over their contributions they make on radio. For me, that constituted stopping her way.
Mr. Mwamba, so what also stands out from this is, in as much as you put up this post here, the subsequent question is, is there any evidence at all? Any pictures to show? Because then now, the assumption is that this is just being made up by you, especially that the police have denied having a presence. In fact, the organization, the management of Flava FM and TV put up a statement saying what you said was false. And you say one of the employees, one of the reporters there, sent you this information when the management is saying otherwise. Is there any evidence to back up what you put up on your social media?
Yes, I asked pertinent questions and I was satisfied. I did a second verification from another independent source to speak to management. And management verified that they were dealing with the issue of the police, but they didn't want to blow it up. So I said, how management deals with this matter is not my issue. My issue was the abuse of the police. In fact, our discussion should be on the police. How careless they were, how dangerous they were. How can you, a guest who's investigating human rights, you try to interfere with their work? So I understand the role of management and how they want to protect themselves, the issues of radio licenses that can be revoked of advertisers, but I just didn't get one sort of information. I did a verification exercise independent of this person, and I made a call to management, and they said, yes, the police are here. My source said 4. This management official said 3. And they said that we are, however, Ambassador, we don't want to blow this matter. We are trying to manage it. Now, how they deal with that issue is not my problem. For me, I had credible information. The police are not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to interfere with the witnesses. They're not supposed to interfere with the work of the special rapporteur.
You made a conclusive statement that they were trying to stop her. They're there to stop her. But regardless of how you frame it, I don't see where you're getting this authority to suggest that the police are trying to stop her. But they've responded to you, and they've said...
And I simply asked 2 questions. John, I asked just 2 questions. Are they part of the entourage? They said no. What are they asking? They told me the 2 questions they were asking. Whether she will appear on radio. Number 2, whether she will speak to witnesses. Tell me what that means. Just tell me what that means.
I wouldn't know, and I don't think you would either. But there's the statement. The statement issued by the.
Just a minute, Jonah. Let's conclude on that particular matter. If I am at court, I'm a witness, and there are strangers that are trying to speak to me before I go into court and give my evidence, what is that called?
But there's no court here.
Of witnesses.
But there's no court here.
No, the standards of investigations are the same. Don't interfere with the truth. Don't interfere with witnesses. Allow people to hide the facts. So the police might threaten me with arrest. The Flava FM might refuse, but I can tell you, and when it comes to evidence, if it were to come to that, I can demonstrate that I was given credible information. And me, in my capacity, because I know I have a large audience, so I have responsibility. I don't want to publish something that would turn out not to be true. I took a second call to verify. And with those 2 phone calls, I was satisfied that something amiss had occurred, that the police, 4 police, 1 witness said 3, that we can verify, turned up at Flava FM, and we're asking those 2 questions about whether the special rapporteur will appear on radio. Number 2, whether she will speak to witnesses.
Isn't the query here on how all of this is happening that you are in the habit of sensationalizing issues? You claim, you get on a phone call and your source tells you that there's 3 police officers here, or 3 or 4, and you say that the radio station has been surrounded and that they're trying to stop her. You deliberately distort the information that your source has given you so that you create an impression that doesn't exist. Isn't this what is happening here?
John, I respect your opinion. If that's your conclusion, I respect your opinion. I've just given the scenario and my conclusion. So in your conclusion, if you feel that I sensationalize the information, what if the facts do not go away? That there were these officers that were not supposed to be there. They were not part of our entourage or state officers that are with the special rapporteur.
If you told me this, you gave me a call and you said, I've seen 3 officers here that are present here and they're talking to me or whatever scenario. Then I post and say that Emmanuel Mwamba surrounded by police officers. Emmanuel Mwamba's house surrounded by police officers. Wouldn't I be misleading the public if I said that? Because that's not what you told me.
I don't know what you interpret what surrounding is. One police officer can surround an entire school because they have a gun that has a radius and reach that can literally surround the place. These are 3 police officers at a station. Whether you want surround to mean that they've deployed motor vehicles and then they are physically surrounded, for me, that's subject to interpretation. But the presence of the police, where they can stop witnesses, they are not supposed to be there. In fact, a radio station already has a security officer who's present there all the time. The UN chief, the special rapporteur, had our own security that's accompanying her. And then of these police officers asking strange questions.
So, Mr. Mwamba,
I would rather to dig.
The Zambia police have indicated that they already take action for what you made reference to. So in a nutshell, what you're saying is that you're confident, you have evidence to defend yourself and prove that what you said is indeed, you did mean what you say, and what the Zambia police and the management of Flava FM said is not in line with the information you have.
When I say that Maina Soko has evacuated its patients, it has evacuated its patients. There is no way I would put that information out to the media, to my page especially, if I'm not sure. I'm in the United States. Someone calls me that we've been thrown out. We were in the car park. First of all, I wondered what a patient would be doing in the car park. I asked pertinent questions. Has there been a fire court? No. Is there a fire brigade? No. Could it be a bomb scare? Could it be? Why would patients be in the car park? And I broke the news. In fact, I called on you, journalists, to go and verify. Say, please find out what's happening. And in my view, these things don't please authorities. They would rather that such matters are not made public to the media. But I have an audience, and I felt that an audience needed to know what was happening at Maina Soko.
And, I mean, through this process, you speak of what happened at Maina Soko. You also were quoted from your Facebook page, asking questions around where the president was, and this was in the midst of, rumors surrounding his health, which have clearly been clarified. But we've seen, those from government get to respond to you. The Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry responded to you, expressing disappointment. We even saw the State House Communications Specialist, Clayson Amasaga, as well, responding to you. And the condemnation is similar, that you are alarming people, and you're in the habit of alarming people, and now this habit of yours is getting out of hand. How exactly do you plan on reconciling this, especially to the public? Because this is now the information going around that Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba is a propagandist and has been telling lies to the public.
Well, we will tell who's telling lies. I will continue to communicate my information. I will continue to ensure that when I've got verified news, whether it is popular with the authorities or not, and in my view, in my stated view, and in my role as an opposition leader who provides checks and balances, I'll put out the information for the state to respond. They'll call me names. Whatever names they'll call me, I don't answer to their names. I remain Emmanuel Mwamba, and I remain dedicated what I do. I pursue the truth. I don't engage in propaganda. They engage in propaganda. I don't engage in cover-ups. They engage in cover-ups. I don't threaten. They threaten. Why they threaten with arrest if everything I've talked about took place? So, Chumaka, I'm not moved by assertions by people. If I don't have credibility, no one will go to my Facebook page. No one will report what I talk about.
Mr.
But you have
Mwamba,
the
Mr.
entire
Mwamba.
government machinery.
Let's draw it back a little bit, because we have gotten so much from you so far, but would also like to add further context to this discussion. And I'll draw you back to the issue around the UN Special Rapporteur, because on phone we're now joined by the proprietor of Flava FM and hear their account of the story based on what you've just shared. Mr. Chala Chitoshi is joining us via audio call. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's edition of This Day. On the other line, we have joining us via video conferencing, we've got Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba. But would you just tell us what happened earlier on today? What is management's position on what happened earlier on today?
Good evening. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. It's unfortunate that I can't join you via video call, because I think that would have been, I think, a little more interesting. But I think let me start by saying this, and I want to state this categorically. I do not involve myself in politics, and neither does my station. My station has never been about aligning itself with people's agendas and whatever it is that they wish to do. And I will not allow my radio station as Flava FM to be used as a political pawn in whatever it is that Emmanuel Mwamba is trying to achieve. Now, Emmanuel Mwamba is saying he spoke to a member of staff. So I come from a legal background. It would be very nice for him to start by informing us who from the radio station gave him this information. I think let's be transparent in all our dealings. Let us not sensationalize, and you can claim to be a journalist, you can claim to be whatever you are. But I want to start by saying I would like to know,
5 minutes. Yeah?
For the sake of transparency, I would like him to mention who he spoke to at Flava Radio and TV, because none of the members of staff at Flava FM have spoken to Emmanuel Mwamba today.
Mr. Mwamba, you hear that feedback. That is official management position by Flava FM, and I feel like that this puts you in a very awkward position, because you insist that you spoke with them. You spoke with, according to you, 2 members of staff at Flava FM, but the proprietor says otherwise. And before Mr. Mwamba comes in, Mr. Chitoshi, just for clarity's sake, you didn't have 3-4 police officers coming to your radio station today ahead of the rapporteur.
So here is the clarification, and take it from me, and obviously from somebody who was present, and not from people that are alleging to have contacts, quote and unquote, on the ground. 2 police officers arrived earlier in the day before the interview with the rapporteur, and they came and spoke to my members of staff and queried about the visit from the UN rapporteur. They wanted information basically pertaining to what was going on. My members of staff gave them information that they required after asking for ID, and they said, okay, we're having this lady, she's coming over, and she's coming for this interview. After that, they did not stay. There was no presence of any police at the radio station. In fact, I'm given to understand that they left to go to Radio Chengalo to ask the same questions. I'm not sure. Chengalo can confirm that. They left immediately after that. When the rapporteur visited the radio station, which was 2.5 hours later, there was no police presence. There was nobody surrounding the building. There was nobody standing there accosting members of staff or asking them to answer these so-called difficult questions. And also, let's clear something up. She did not come for a radio interview. I don't understand why we are seeing posts about her being stopped from being granted an interview on radio. There was no radio interview. She came to speak to journalists as part of her research and asked a few questions, and she left the media house and went on to the next one to ask. She is conducting research. Why would we sensationalize this from political mileage and start saying police officers have surrounded the station to stop so-and-so from talking on air? She was not scheduled for a radio interview. We were not putting her on radio, and she categorically had stated this anyway after her arrival. She was basically conducting research and speaking to members of staff. Why does Emmanuel want to take this and go and post all of these untruths for his own mileage? Please don't involve my radio station in this nonsense.
Well, Mr. Mwamba, I believe you heard that, and I don't know what you have to say about that.
I have a lot to say. First of all, I sympathize with the proprietor. He's a businessman. He's not a politician like us. And I think I've tried very hard to dissociate him from this discussion, even to dissociate Flava FM from the politics that occurred today. So he's a businessman. I'm not going to discuss with him. But first, number one, what is important is there's no research that is being done by the UN. There is a special rapporteur that has come to investigate human rights abuses claims in Zambia. So it's not a research. It's not a civic matter. These are very serious issues that can have ramifications on our country. So it's not a tourism visit like I stated. In fact, I had asked for the proprietor, and I was told he was in Ndola. That is to what extent I tried to verify the information. You can ask him, he's listening, if he wasn't in Ndola at the time. So like I said, I'm in the United States. I can't just, and it was, I think it was like 04 or 0304 on my time where I am. And I'm woken up by this phone call. It was not malicious, but I can credit myself that I did bother Jonah to verify what did they want. When they mentioned that there was a question whether she will appear on radio, for me, I got alarmed. When they said whether she will speak to witnesses, I got alarmed. I don't know to what extent the special rapporteur is aware of these things that occurred, but they occurred at Flava FM. I tried to speak to the proprietor. I was told he was currently in Ndola. So I'm not fabricating anything. And I put out a notice. Of course, I used a strong word, surround. I can choose what to say from the information I gathered. But the conduct of the police officers, and to his credit, now he's confirming to you that there were only 2 police officers. I told you 4. Another staff said 3. Management is now there were 2 police officers. You guys as journalists, you know something went on. What we are now engaged in is what is called a cover-up. Because in a cover-up, you want to be safe. You don't want to be cited. You don't want the crime to be on you.
But Mr. Mwamba, don't you think that the bone of contention here comes in when you indicate that they were trying to stop her, from being there? When you make a statement like that, don't you think this is now what changes the conversation to make it seem quite political and drive it into a different direction?
You know how we do on Facebook or like Twitter. You explain in a few words, you put out a banner information, then you explain it in details. So most of this information we are having, I require that I do a follow-up write-up. But within 10 minutes, Flava FM put up a statement that what I had said was false. Well, I didn't want to fight them, but I didn't withdraw my statement. I left it on my page.
So what was going to be the context? So if you wrote a longer article, what was going to be the context to you saying that she was about to be stopped and the station was surrounded?
Exactly the discussion we've had, that the police officers were asking if she will appear on radio. Number 2, they were asking if she will interview witnesses or she'll just interview media personnel.
So is that in summary to assume that she was trying to stop her by asking
Yes,
those
well,
questions, if indeed those
why
questions
would
were
they
asked?
ask about witnesses? Why would they ask about witnesses? And for me, who's been dealing with these issues, especially of our bloggers and callers on radio, I have numerous times.
But
they
also-
always harass their detained.
Also, Mr. Mwamba, the proprietor here, Mr. Chitoshi, just said that you did not speak with any of his reporters, and he's really interested to know which reporter, if indeed you did speak with a reporter there. But from your end, are you able to confirm that indeed was an employee of Flava FM?
You know, that's very careless. First of all, you and I deal with sources, and we protect our sources. In fact, as journalists, we go to prison to protect our sources. As soon as you begin to unveil your sources, your entire information system collapses. You guys know how sacred our sources are. I've just demonstrated that I'm in the US. Why? I didn't even know the calendar of the UN Special Rapporteur. I don't even know. In fact, the calendar released by the state stated that she was going to be in Livingstone. Why would I manufacture that she's at 5 FM unless she was at, she was at Flava FM, unless she was at Flava FM?
What about your position now? What about your position? What about your position now? What about your position now that you've heard what management has had to say? Like, you've got a clearer picture from what it appears. You've got a clearer picture of what happened. So what do you have to say now?
Jonas, sorry. In communication, you have to speak to both sides. Management have interest to protect, and I respect what they say. But what I've told you is the truth. There were police officers that went to Flava FM and asked inappropriate questions, and that information was given to me.
All right.
Gesh has just told you that there were 2 police officers. I told you that the other 2 sources told me 3, the other one 4. Clear, it is very clear without doubt. We've established there were 2 police officers that turned up at the station. And in my view, that was interference in the work of the UN Special Rapporteur. If I were Zambia police, if I were Grafo Musamba, I would constitute an inquiry to understand who is this one who has embarrassed the police. They rushed to deny and deny instead of dealing with the matter. This was clearly misconduct by whoever gave these instructions, that where the special rapporteur is going, there should be someone who's going to do something that might be attributed to be interference. For me, that's what my focus would be. Then to try to portray that Emmanuel Mwamba is lying, what I can tell you is I'm not lying, and I've demonstrated the fact. I respect management's position. I will not disclose who the sources are. You and I know, including Gesh. He knows. If Gesh has to protect the source, Gesh knows as a journalist he has to. That's one of our fundamental sacred principles.
So what is going to happen? Because the police say that they are going to take legal route and provisions that are provided legally. Are you just,
I will defend myself. I have told them, as I arrive next week, if the police wishes to arrest me, I'm willing. Let them take us to court. I'll demonstrate that I didn't lie.
All right.
I don't cow to intimidation. I don't cow to threats, But as soon, if I am wrong, I'm quick to apologize. If my facts are incorrect, I do apologize. But I'll not be made to participate in something like a lie. Here they're trying to manufacture a lie that the police didn't turn up at Flava FM. I'll not participate in that lie. If the proprietor wishes to paint a certain picture, I will not. I'll stick to the truth. The truth may be uncomfortable to the police, may be uncomfortable to authorities, but I'll stick to the truth. They'll call me propagandist, they can call me any names. My duty is always to the truth, and that's what I pursue.
Thanks a lot for talking to us on tonight's edition of Diamond Live, and we'd also like to thank Mr. Chitoshi, who was also joining us via audio call to just talk about this. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we continue with tonight's edition of Diamond Live. There's some cash for work workers that are complaining of not being paid 3 months worth of pay they've not received. We'll be getting into detail into that and what's going on over there.
Son, well, I'm sure life seems hard for you right now. When you read these words, it means that you're at the age me and your mother were when we moved to Lusaka. I remember how many times your mom and I were enjoying. We always found time to comfort each other after a long day. For us, home was about supporting each other. All this to tell you and your wife, it's gonna be fine. Small moments of happiness do have a lot of meaning when they remind us of where we come from. Boom. Never forget home.
Pascal's showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that the wells can store many, many messages. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded your contact center yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
So how can you get clean and affordable energy? How can you avoid plastic in your daily life? What kind of jobs are there for you in a green economy? Echo Africa shows you people and ideas that improves our lives and the world we live in. Get inspired. Echo Africa.
Want a free bets? Follow these steps. Join 1xBet app. Confirm your participation. Bet on the correct match score. Get a free bet every week. 1x free bet. Active bonuses for active players.
Today,
start big
with Big Tree
Cornflakes.
Big Tree Cornflakes.
The end of your journey will be big. Stay on your feet, chase to achieve. Give it your all and just believe that it's gonna be big when you start big. Big Tree Cornflakes. Start big today. Big Tree Cornflakes. Remember to always keep it, do it in whatever you do. Keep it in whatever you do.
Today, the best maize grain Zambia has to offer are perfectly toasted into golden flakes that pack a big crunch. Today, start big with Big Tree Cornflakes.
The ZNBS fixed deposit account is the key to unlocking your financial potential. With competitive interest rates and the ability to choose a tenure that fits your needs, you can ensure that your money is working hard for you. Whether you're saving for a rainy day, a dream vacation, or even retirement, the fixed deposit account guarantees that your money will grow at a steady rate, giving you peace of mind and security for your future. Open a fixed deposit account and watch your savings flourish. Take control of your financial future today. Terms and conditions apply. For more details, visit your nearest branch. Follow us on Facebook or email customerservice@znbs.co.zm. It's possible to buy, build, and renovate your dream home with ZNBS.
Yeah, Chanyabo, Bet Lions January Mabwana mega giveaways here. Win some electrifying prizes this month. Bigger and better than ever with 1 million kwacha up for grabs. One lucky winner will take home an incredible life-changing 500 spin tata. Bet on sports, aviator, and casino games earns you an entry into the Mabwana giveaway. Head to betlion.co.zm today to join the Mabwana mega giveaway.
There's an old saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. No bomb guys who you. I don't mind daddy sometimes changed. And so to improve himself, he decided to learn a little kung fu. Oh, but he soon realized that to be the best, one had to endure the worst. Alali trainer. No kutrena. No kutrena. Until one day. And so began the legend of Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Energy. Master the power. Now in a new look with Baba Mubuyu plus Moringa flavor.
Welcome back. You're watching Diamond Live. Thank you for staying tuned to the show. Before the break, we were joined by Patriotic Front member Emmanuel Mwamba. We're talking to him about one of the heated news stories of the day, but we also had on the other side the proprietor of Flava FM, Chela Chitoshi. But now we talk a little bit about the Ministry of Local Government and introducing the Cash for Work program that is aimed at providing temporary employment and financial relief to vulnerable families in various communities. Now, in Matero's Kapwepwe ward, it is reported that local residents in the area claim they have not received their payments for nearly 2 months, despite completing the work that is required. Frank Schone, the ward satellite member who is responsible for identifying vulnerable individuals, has expressed concern over the situation, and he says that he is being threatened due to the delay in payments. Would like to speak with him to understand what is going wrong and the depth of this. So he's joining us via video conferencing. Mr. Strone, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Diamond Live. And would like to ask, first of all, if you can just briefly tell us how you were identified and what exactly is the problem at this point? We can't hear what you're saying. Can you kindly unmute your audio, please? Mr. Strone, are you there? Yeah, we can hear you. You can go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Kindly tell us what's going on with this situation.
All right. Thank you so very much, gentlemen. And also good evening, and good evening to our fellow citizens and the world at large. I'm a satellite, and the duty of a satellite is to identify members of the community in conjunction, working together with the people that are called CWAC. Now, satellites are picked out of the so-called CWAC, and CWAC stands for Community Ward Committee. And so when we are picked, we are given a special duty because we understand these communities where we come from. In these communities, we ensure that we identify people who are not on drought or any other alternative or help that is coming from the government. And once that is done, these people then are taken on the site to do the work. And when the work is done, those people, once they are identified by us, it is us that they get to know, to say, these are our bosses. And so the issue at hand is we have a group of people, despite the whole problem that I can call the issue of delayment of payments, which has been going on for some time, ever since this Cash for Work started. The issue at hand is there is a group of people who worked in November, okay? Because they work in groups. These people worked in November, which was on the 22nd of November, where when they finished. And so the problem came in the context of the payments, because the people who are supposed to be paid are the ones that finished on the 22nd. And then we discovered that they paid people that had finished on the 6th in December. You get that. So when a follow-up was made to the WDC chair to find out what happened, why weren't the right people paid according to the way the format is, he did not give concrete reasons. In his earlier statement as a WDC chair, he said, well, I've spoken to the people from the council who have said there might have been an issue of just delaying to also pay that group. But then he had assured me to say, which was on Tuesday, that they were to be paid during the night. And that Tuesday passed, there was nothing. On Wednesday, I made a follow-up, okay? He said, no, if they've not been paid on Tuesday, possibly on Wednesday they'll be paid. All right, then Wednesday passed. Anyway, Wednesday, then Thursday, I had to call him. He did not pick my calls. I called him twice, he did not pick my calls. All right. And then when I used a different contact number, he picked. And that was really disappointing, more especially coming from a person who is actually a leader in the community. All right. So now people have been calling me. I identified these people. They worked under my care. What must I do? Okay. They will kill me. You get that? They will kill me. And that is why in my earlier statement, the guys came on the site, I said, okay, the council should come down on the ground. Where is the problem? Why can't the council come on ground? Ask the people, let them ask for a meeting. They call the zone leaders, they call the CWAC members, they call the WDC chairman, and find out where the problem is. So concerns and complaints have been submitted to the local government. They know this, more especially from Kapwepwe. Why are they delaying to take steps? They want these people here to come and burn me in the house, or indeed
from that call,
to give them their money.
From the call you had with him,
hello?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
From the call you had, you said you managed to get through on a different contact number. Were you able to get feedback whatsoever through this other number you used?
He cut the line. He cut the line. He had to cut the line. He did not. Once he recognized that it was me, he cut the line.
You say you're fearing. You're saying you're fearing for your life.
Begin to happen.
You're saying you're fearing for your life.
Of course I am. Have
you been?
I am scared.
What's the reaction of the people when you explain to them that this is the feedback you are getting from the people who need to give the feedback? Because this is not on you from what you're saying.
They don't believe me. You see, when people have worked and they're expecting their money, you tell them to say, okay, this is what we've been told, to say the money will be paid to you later on. And time is going and going and going. Imagine we're talking about November, okay? I have the forms here, all right, for the people who worked in November. These people finished on the 22nd of November, okay? So me, when I called the WDC chair, I wanted to inquire the criteria you used to jump the first group, which was supposed to be paid, and then allow the people that worked at a later time to be paid. He did not give answers. So I think that is what I even alluded to earlier when the guys came on the site. I said, the council should take up this step. Why can't they come on the ground? Why can't they follow up these concerns and issues so that at the end of the day, they are also aware of what is happening and they get to know where the problem is? Because I believe if they take a step, come on the ground, they'll find culprits. And these people are not needed, because if we can, yes.
All right. Thanks a lot for sharing with us and for giving us that insight. We really appreciate it, and we hope that this issue can be resolved, especially now that we're talking about it. Thank you so much for weighing in.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen.
Indeed, that was Frank Sichone, satellite from Kapwepwe Ward. Now, cybercrime in the country is becoming quite worrying because the Zambia Police Service has been receiving quite some alarming information regarding cybercrime in the country. And we're going to quickly speak with Detective Inspector Elishewo Michael, who's a senior cybercrime analyst from the Zambia Police Service. Mr. Elishewo, thank you so much for joining us on this evening's edition of Diamond Live.
Thank you so much, and good evening, viewers.
Let's talk cybercrime. Firstly, I would like to find out what are some of the most common tactics, criminals are using now to hack accounts, either WhatsApp accounts, fraud, financial accounts. What are some of the most common tactics that you are picking from the Zambia Police Service?
So basically, as Zambia Police Service, we've seen a shift in terms of the frequency, the types, and the modalities that these criminals are using to commit cybercrime. In the past, it was predictive. You would know that a crime would be committed through ABCD, but now it's not possible to know because they are now weaponizing their methods through either the use of AI, through the use of devices, softwares that at some point we may not be aware of. So basically, it is something that we are trying to learn, but so far we've seen an increase in terms of the use of malicious software. At times they would send a link to either, if you're on Facebook or WhatsApp or any other platform where you click, you end up either having your gadgets hacked or compromised, or alternatively, they will use social engineering methods where they will physically call you on phone, talk to you, without realizing it, you start releasing information that may be used against you or used to hack into your either your bank account or your WhatsApp account or any other platform that you use in the digital space.
Obviously, you've had to encounter victims of this several times. How then does someone get to identify that perhaps my account is hacked and so on? Because maybe others will not even be able to tell, and information is getting out, although maybe they'll find out a bit too late. What are some of the quick ways of just identifying that perhaps my gadget is hacked?
So basically, I will start with the WhatsApp system of hacking, because that is common. That's like almost every one of us here, even in the studio, even outside there, they might have received a text message from a person they perceive is a person behind that message, where they're asking for money. They're stuck here and there, then they're asking for money. So basically, what these criminals are doing is that it takes only one person to be compromised. One person, then the rest is history. When I say one person, like I'll give you an example, Chimweka, you belong to so many WhatsApp groups. So if your WhatsApp is hacked, your adventure is hacked, then the message is sent to Jonah. Because Jonah knows you, trusts you, you speak, Jonah will respond because in his mind he's speaking to you. And yet your WhatsApp has been hacked. So basically what these criminals are doing is, the quickest link is the first person to be hacked. Once your WhatsApp is hacked, they take over your WhatsApp profile and everything. All the groups where you belong to are in their control. So they would go to this group, check the conversation in the groups that are now, because when they hack you right now, they may not see what you were discussing previously. So they may spend a bit of some time to ensure that as the conversation flows, they would know this one is a target. Then they will contact you. After contacting you, they will either call you with a foreign number, asking you about, no, maybe Diamond TV will have this and this and this and this and this. Then we will send you an invite link via WhatsApp. Send us the code so at a particular time you join this online meeting. You send the code, your WhatsApp is taken over. Because now you have lost contact, you have lost control of your WhatsApp. Whatever they will do with it is at their own peril. So basically, they will contact almost each and every one of your contacts, either in the groups and those you might be having conversation, because it takes a lot of time for you to notify almost all your contacts. I know you've got more than 5,000 contacts in your phone that are on WhatsApp. You might have maybe 10,000 as a journalist. So basically, just for you to announce to all of them, you may go on Facebook and say, my WhatsApp account has been hacked, but not everyone else is on Facebook.
But how equipped? I think the question has always been, how equipped is the Zambia Police Service in terms of technology, resources? How equipped are you? And perhaps, how easy has it been to recover some of these accounts that have been hacked?
So basically, we are working hand in hand with Zicta and Meta, who owns WhatsApp, to ensure that these hacked accounts are easily recoverable. So on the aspect of our preparedness, I'll tell you that at the moment, we are ready to handle most of these cases and we're handling them. However, I will emphasize that there is no law enforcement agency in this world, even the mighty FBI and any other law enforcement agency, that is able to repel and stop cybercrime. We can only mitigate it. So we have the equipment, we have the expertise, but it is not something that we can say we are 100% protective in terms of ensuring that the safety and security of the nation is enhanced. However, efforts have been made by government through various platforms, various collaborations, and various legislative amendments to ensure that we move in time, as cyber enhances, we also follow behind or we are ahead of it.
So before you come in, Jonah, I just want to find out, still on that point, on having access to you as a police, because I've heard of people who've had accounts hacked, and without mentioning a name, one of these individuals was actually a member of parliament. Jonah knows the story very well. And from what I got from the explanation in terms of when this person was trying to take action, they had a pretty bad experience, even just with the authorities. What just run us through the process. What does someone really have to do if they need help from the police to have this matter resolved?
Okay, if you want to have this matter resolved, there are 2 or 3 methods one has to use. So basically, most of us are using ordinary WhatsApp. So would encourage that when your WhatsApp is hacked, you don't try to get the code sent to you, because by doing that, Meta will think like you are malicious using their platform. So they might give you an extended period of which you may receive a code, which might maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, but in between that time, damage would be done. So basically, the best way is one to install business WhatsApp, and once you install business WhatsApp, you either call the Zicta toll-free line 7070, or you go to the nearest police station. Of course, we may not have the expertise in almost all the police stations in Zambia, but of course, the police, they know who to call at police headquarters. They know the procedures to follow. We normally help people from as far as Itejiteji, as far as Shangombo. We had a chief who was hacked in Itejiteji. Within 10 minutes of us being informed, within 5 minutes of us being informed, we were able to restore his WhatsApp. Yet he wasn't in Lusaka. So basically, what I would say is there are many ways in which we can help, but it's not something that can easily be done by almost every law enforcement officer around. It takes a bit of some expertise to do that. So basically, also.
So where do we go? Where do we go? Can we just go to the nearest police station, or because other people think maybe they have to go to Zicta? I don't think a lot of people know what they need to do next when they're in a situation like that.
No, Zicta offers us technical support. Zicta is our partner in the fight against cybercrime, so we cannot rule them out. So basically what we do is, if we have a challenge that is beyond us, we call upon Zicta. If Zicta receives a report which they can handle and probably refer them to us, they always refer them to us. So we work hand in hand. So even them going to Zicta is not itself a bad thing. They can still be helped. Many people have gone to Zicta and they've been helped in that aspect.
One of the other things, as we wind up also, is the whole issue of the cyberspace, like you clearly stated, is much more complex than it is simple, right? That yes. Even globally, it's a very difficult space to manage. How well informed do you think the general population are here with regards to how they can get hacked and protecting themselves from this? Because some of the people getting hacked are actually learned and are quite tech savvy.
So basically, the Zambia Police Service, in conjunction with Zicta and other relevant agencies, we have undertaken massive roadshows. We've undertaken massive awareness. I'll give you an example. We've visited some of these agents in town, those that do mobile money and those that sell SIM card. So basically, we've seen that most of these criminals who are involved in cybercrime are purchasing pre-registered SIM cards. So we cannot manage to stop it, but we can only encourage those agents who are selling those pre-registered SIM cards, which are a major tool in the commission of the crime, to be committed. So basically, also radio stations have invited us to talk about cyber, TV, just like what I'm doing right now, and other various platforms. We have a police Facebook page that also once in a while we discuss about cyber. There are various forms. Zicta also does the same. So basically, it's a joint venture. It's not a single agent's thing. It's beyond Zambia Police. It's actually, even DEC has a money laundering team that also deal with cyber. So basically, we work hand in hand. Also, as a way of ensuring that we move in line with the rest of the country, we also try to push the government to ensure that some of the laws that we have, which we think may not be working, well, are either amended or repealed, or whatever means that we have for us to have something that will be working for us.
I know we're closing, but I mean, I've always been curious. Even just a simple phone, if a phone is stolen here in Zambia, and I've heard this a lot from members of the public that it is so difficult for the Zambia Police Service to just recover a stolen phone. Are there challenges that you face as Zambia Police in such type of crimes in terms of recovery of information, recovery of items, stolen items, and so on?
So basically, I'll start with the issue of the phone. You see, it's not every phone that is of value to a person. Most people normally target high-end phones. So most of these high-end phones, when they are stolen in Zambia, yes, I will agree with you, they're a little bit difficult to recover because there is a cartel within the SADC region where phones that are stolen in Zambia find themselves either in Angola, find themselves either in Zimbabwe, South Africa. And those phones that are stolen in South Africa find themselves in Zambia. As you are aware, we can only track phones that are within the boundaries of this country. So basically, also, we are working hand in hand with the GSM network, which will allow us to ensure that any phone that is stolen in Zambia that is being used within the African region can easily be tracked. So basically, on the other aspect about what question was that?
Some of the challenges that
the challenges that we are facing is that, as you know, cybercrime and cyberspace is borderless in nature. Somebody can be in the US and still commit a crime in Zambia. So we've got laws that probably might be restrictive in terms of what is a crime in Nigeria for us to pursue a person who has committed a crime in Zambia. What may be a crime in Zambia may not be a crime in Nigeria, but that person has committed a crime in Zambia. So we've got issues of jurisdictional issues. The second aspect of it is that we are part to the Malabo Convention on Cybersecurity and Data Protection. However, we are yet to be party to the Budapest Convention on cybercrime. The Budapest Convention actually will help us to throw in the net wider beyond the borders of Zambia in following these criminals that are outside the borders of Zambia. Of course, the UN also is coming up with a UN treaty against cybercrime, where Zambia is a member. Once that treaty that convention is enacted, I think we'll have more powers and more muscle to follow crimes that are beyond the Zambian borders.
Thank you so much, Chief Inspector Detective Elisha, for speaking with us on tonight's edition of Diamond Live.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching tonight's edition of the show. We are done for today, but we'll be back with another edition of Diamond Live on Friday at 21:15 hours. But join us for this day at 21:15 hours on Tuesday and Thursday. Good evening.
They've chewed much of your time.
No, it's okay.